Hi, I'm Lauren.
Shane.
Lorcan. Mohammed Musa.
Justine.
Tom.
Jessica Lydia.
Tim.
Mason.
Hi, I'm Pippa.
Claire. Amy.
Adam. Chris.
Catherine. Bex.
Harry.
I'm Louise Rafferty.
Alex Bisbee.
Nathan.
Jack.
Anna.
Ed.
My name's Alan. Josh.
Jordan.
Charlie.
Richard.
Sophie.
I realised quite late, I imagine. I was like 13, maybe 14.
I remember reading a magazine when I was really quite young about bisexuality, and it just made an awful lot of sense to me.
When I properly realised, I was like discovering a whole new part of myself.
It took me a long time, I think, to realise that I was gay. Just because I grew up in a really Catholic background.
I guess I wasn't one of the lads into the girls, into the football, into the cars.
My parents were always like, oh, when are you going to get a boyfriend, you know? It's like, well, never. And someone asked me, are you a lesbian? And I said, no! And then I ran away. I knew I wasn't straight, but I couldn't quite sort of define the feelings that I had for girls as well.
It was kind of very gradual, like you realise that boy's hot, but that girl's hot, and maybe she's actually hotter.
I went to an all-girls school, so it didn't really go down very well, and I was kind of picked, like teased and laughed at and stuff, and they kind of made fun of me, and it kind of made me like lose sight of myself. But like, as soon as the teachers got wind of it, they just wouldn't even let me hug my friends goodbye. My friend was really upset, and I was like hugging her outside the form room, and I wasn't. And then the teacher came up and told me that it was inappropriate behaviour, and I got put in like isolation for a day. It's just like not cool. Like the teachers just didn't even respect it at all.
I was worried about sort of missing out on the things that straight people would.
Nobody else around you is like that, and you just feel like there's something wrong with you, or there's something different about you, and it's not something that you yourself can understand, so nobody else can understand it either.
I didn't feel like I had anybody to relate to or anybody to speak to about what I was feeling or what I was going through.
I had no gay friends, I had no sort of role models to look up to, anyone who was like me.
Sadly, I did turn to self-harm to try and make myself feel better. That sounds really, really weird, but just to try and deal with the thoughts and the depression of being bullied.
I was very religious, and it caused me very bad crisis. I even went into depression for like 1 year. Had lots of suicide attempts, and didn't know what to tell to my family because they were asking me what's happening to you.
The depression I got when I came to the realisation was really crushing, and that was something that took me a lot of time to get out of.
I had this big idea that everyone would suddenly treat me differently because they knew different information about me.
Really close with my dad, I was just scared that he wouldn't accept it.
I thought they'd think that I was lying.
In a hypothetical conversation, my mum said that if I was gay, she would disown me. I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how to cope.
I couldn't tell my friends, so I sort of had to tell one of my best friends by basically saying to her, you know how we've always been a little bit like Will and Grace? We're now a little bit more like Will and Grace.
The first person I told was my friend on a school trip, and he didn't believe me. He thought I was trying to be trendy.
My boyfriend at the time said, I think I need to do something to help you, and he had a big walk-in cupboard, and he just led me inside, pushed the door to, and then he said, you've got to come out the closet now. So I actually came out the closet physically.
I told my friends, and they helped me up and through it, and they really supported me, so yeah.
All my friends loved it, and it was great, and I've never looked back since.
I think coming out to your friend is sort of like testing the water a bit, sort of like seeing how people will react, and so you can then go for the big thing. It's obviously coming out to your parents.
Very, very nervous, sort of like a lot of hyperventilation, but they very much surprised me. I told them, and there was lots of crying, but all round, but everything was absolutely fine.
I came out to my dad drunk over dinner, which I wouldn't particularly recommend, but he was fine with it as well.
My dad asked some cringy question like, have you got a special friend?
My dad said the immortal line of, I'd love you even if you were a serial killer, which I don't think was the right phrase to use, but still the sentiment was there.
She wouldn't stop crying, so I asked her, why are you crying? I don't understand why it would make you sad. And she said, oh, well, her response was, I expected, I was looking forward to having a grandchild and going to a wedding, And I said, Mum, you'll still have that. There's no reason to be upset, because I still want children perhaps at one time in my life, and I still definitely want to get married if I find the right person.
I only actually told my parents a couple of weeks ago, and it actually went really well. Like, it went so much better than I thought it was going to go.
I don't presume that they would judge you necessarily because they love you, so yeah.
It really wasn't a problem at all, and she just wanted me to be happy.
If I didn't come out, I wouldn't be in love right now.
I wouldn't have the confidence to be in a band without coming out and being true to who I was.
I'd have missed just being me.
I met a lot of amazing people, made a lot of amazing friends.
There is a community which it's so lovely to be a part of.
Like, I've got a much more honest relationship with my mum now, and I wouldn't have that otherwise.
It's one of the best things that I've ever done, really. Coming to terms with it and sort of coming out, because I feel, I just feel accepted, and it's a nice feeling.
When you're particularly at school, you're in such a closed environment, and everything that's bad about it is just so much more amplified, but you get out into the world and you meet so many more people.
You don't have to tell anyone if you don't feel ready or you feel like it could be dangerous to you. You don't have to tell people, you just have to feel that you accept it.
It doesn't matter who everyone else thinks you are. It's important to realise who you are yourself and just be that person that you want to be.
It's all about you.
The people who matter will support you, and they'll be happy that you're happy.
If they're your true friend, then they will stick by you.
Don't give up.
Don't hide anymore, just be yourself.
And the rest will follow.
It gets better.
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 It gets better. It gets better.
Don't laugh. Fantastic.